The information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or to prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. This information is only presented herein for entertainment and educational purposes only. Hi, I'm David DeHaas of Living Waters Wellness Center, and welcome to the Whole Body Detox Show. I'm your host today. Living Waters Wellness Center is a Treasure Valley's largest colon hydrotherapy center and best known for a 10-day cleanse and healing retreat. To learn more about colon hydrotherapy and detoxifying the body, go to livingwaterscleanse.com. Watch the webinar, The 4 Natural Laws of Healing. I was once a medical refugee seeking out how to heal my body. By the age of 30, I was suffering from numerous symptoms, including allergies, severe fatigue, constipation, brain fog, joint pain, back pain, psoriasis, acne, and eventually cancer. I spent about 20 years learning how to heal my body. Now I teach others how they can recover using the 4 natural laws of healing. Each week, we bring you the information you need to discern how you can heal your body. Welcome to the show. Good morning, everyone. This is David DeHaas, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. Living Waters Wellness Center is Idaho's largest colon hydrotherapy center and known for its 10-day cleanse and healing retreat. Each week, we provide you with the necessary education and tools to detox and heal the body following the 4 natural laws of healing. To learn more details about the 4 natural laws of healing, go to livingwaterscleanse.com and click on the link 4 Natural Laws of Healing. And if you miss any parts of this show or want to re-listen to certain segments, be sure to subscribe to our podcast platform, Whole Body Detox Show, found on any national podcast platform, or simply go to the website, wholebodydetoxshow.com. Today's show, I brought my special guest in, Shelly, who came to us a couple of years ago, as I recall, and did a 10-day healing retreat. And we actually twisted her arm and forced her to work here. And so, Shelly, I want to go back, and we're just talking about miracles that happen here on the cleanse. And I want to give everyone a great, basically detail of what we do here, and especially from your perspective, because you came in as a brand newbie, really had no idea what we were doing. So let's hear from your story. I met you, I gave you a speaking event, wasn't I, out at Dr. Rosie's place?
Yes, Dr. Rosie, Maine.
And you came in and...
I came with a friend, and just to give her support.
Right.
And that's when you spoke, and that's when I met you. And you talked about colon hydrotherapy. And I remember you saying, if you use more than 1 square of toilet paper, you need a colonic. And I was sitting there thinking, that really stuck with me. And I went, wow, I'm one of those people that probably uses a half a roll. So I thought maybe I needed one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you are. So let's go back. As anybody who's had never done a colonic, let's talk about what it is for first time. And by the way, if you don't know what a colonic is, the best way to educate yourself and see how it is done is go to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com. Under treatments, colonics, and you'll see a little 10-minute video on how a colonic is done. It's very simple, very easy. It's very private. You're all covered up. There's no exposure whatsoever, but very simple to do. So, Shelly, your first time coming in, I'm sure like most people, you're a little bit nervous.
Very nervous.
Very nervous.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that first time. What was that experience like?
Well, Chandra was here.
Okay.
And so she took me to the room, and the room was very comfortable because it was warm. The heater was on, and I felt like it was nurturing. That was the first feeling I had. So I felt like that was good. She talked briefly about, things to do, and just kind of left me to set it up myself as far as getting all put together. And that made me feel good because that put me in control of what I was doing.
Right.
If something wasn't happening at me, I wanted this. And it was easier than I thought.
Right. And
I felt super good afterward.
Yeah. Did you have any significant health symptoms or problems at that time?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I from the time I was a small child, I had stomach issues. Then I had, of course, digestive issues that goes with that. And I was bent over in pain a lot, especially after eating or just for no reason at all.
Wow.
And then it would go from constipation to diarrhea.
Right.
They said irritable bowel syndrome.
Right.
And I thought, okay, so I'm dealing with that. And there was nothing that ever helped.
So you tried different things for that?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like what kinds of things had you tried?
Elimination food diets, removing stress out of your life, exercise, lots of water, hydrating the body well, Just simple things like that.
Okay.
I didn't want to take heavy duty medications because I knew that wasn't going to be good.
Had you been offered that?
I had, yeah.
And you just refused to take that?
Yeah, that's kind of me as a patient. I'm not very good.
Well, probably intuitively you're thinking like, okay, this probably is not going to solve what's going on, I'm guessing.
No. And then even when I was a really little kid, they used immune therapy on me because they said, oh, she's got severe allergies. So 2 shots a week till I was in high school, from the time I was 6 until I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
For allergies.
Yep. And did it work? No, it did not. Did it help my digestive issues? No, it did not.
Whoa. So not only did you have the allergies, but you had the internal gut issues going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was me too. I took 2 shots a week. Didn't do it in the winter, but all summer long I would. And that went on until I was out of high school and came to college.
Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By chance, did you have any mercury fillings in your teeth back then?
No feelings.
Oh, wow. See, I had 13, so I always thought that was a factor. I'm sure it was. But yeah, when I did my first colon hydrotherapy sessions, what was amazing to me is once I did my 10-day retreat, no allergies since, like none.
I was like that until I ended up getting a bit sick in the last year. So
Yeah.
kind of brought me back.
Right.
But when I was done with my 10-day cleanse here,
Right.
I've had no irritable bowel syndrome symptoms, not after that and nor since.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge win.
Huge win.
So this has been like several decades.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's incredible. And we see this all the time, but still was a wow to me for people come in to tell me all the time all their symptoms, and we watch, and some, of course, as you know, are worse than others, and to see that change is just amazing.
Yeah.
What else did you notice besides your irritable bowel and your allergies going away?
During the 10-day cleanse, there's a lot of there's some emotional things I was going through. I was
Right.
going through grief at the time. So I didn't realize the impact that grief had on the body physically. And that was wonderful because working with Linda in the biomat during
Right.
the 10-day was helping to detox the body and work through some of those issues, which
Yeah.
was very powerful.
You can't underestimate how much stress plays a role on our internal being.
A lot.
Yeah.
I think more than we think it does.
Yeah, I remember doctors in the past say, "Well, it's probably just stress," and I go like, "Okay," and so I've got stress. Yeah, I work in a stress business, right? It's like, how am I going to change that? But you learned some tools here on the 10-day.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Linda helped me work with some of that. Some of the videos that we watched was helpful. Learning to work with energy, frequency, and vibrations.
Right.
That all plays a huge educational role, and I still haven't found the end of that yet. I'm still playing with that.
Right. Yeah. No. That's a long haul to go down to, but very, very powerful. So for those of you listening to learn more about our healing retreat and some of the things we're talking about today, because we're using some words we haven't defined, but go to livingwaterscleanse.com, and up the top, just click on the video of the 4 natural laws of healing and watch that. And you may want to watch it twice. I've had so many people tell me they've watched it twice, because there's a lot of information packed in 68 minutes. It was originally a 2-hour video. So I talked pretty fast. So and again, but I made it really at the first grade level, I felt, to make it very simple, layman's terms, to understand what's happening in your body and how the body wants to detox, but you got to have those pathways to open up. And that's the beauty of colon hydrotherapy is you open up those pathways, you get that colon functioning again that hasn't been working for how many decades or years. It's a different world, like what you experienced. Getting off the bed, you go like, oh.
I feel pretty good.
Right. And then so you did a few single colonics, and then you did the 10-day, right?
Yep.
Right. So explain to people, obviously coming into a 10-day healing retreat is a commitment.
Yes.
You're here about 5 to 6 hours a day, but it goes by pretty fast, doesn't it?
Super fast. Yeah, even the whole 10 days, super fast.
Right. I put up with this roadblock of me doing my first 10-day. It's like, I don't have time right now. And at the time I had cancer. It was like kind of crazy to not, want to jump on that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, eventually did it after I saw what happened to my father-in-law. And it was like, I'm in. And yeah, I had the same thing. It's like, oh, dude, it was like, 10, 12 days. It was like nothing. It's like, such a small part, a fraction of the year and a fraction of your life. And the return on investment that you get in terms of being able to live your life and think and do and not be like constantly like, oh God, my gut hurts. Oh my gosh, got to run to the bathroom. Or, oh my God, I haven't pooped in 3 days or whatever. And, and you can't think right. And maybe you put off going and doing certain activities you normally would do, like hiking. For me, it's playing basketball or going and visiting, relatives or something. Like, oh, I can't go. I'm too sick. And I mean, you just think about how much you miss out in life when you're good enough to get through to the day, but you're not really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially if you just, like, I'm getting over the flu. And just that little bit, it's hard to get through a whole day feeling good. But to be like that every single day just because, it's worth cleaning your body out.
Right. Hey, you're listening to the Whole Body Detox Show. I'm your host, David DeHaas, and I'm here today with our special guest, Shelly Theus, who's talking to us about her 10-day healing retreat and the miracles she received. And if you want to learn how you can receive your miracles, go over to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the link for Natural Laws of Healing, watch that webinar, and then just give us a call at 208-3789-911. Today we have special guest Shelly Theus in the office, and we're talking about the amazing miracles she experienced by coming and visiting us and eventually doing a 10-day healing retreat. And then after that, she jumped in and said, hey, I'm going to work here, and began working. Well, but no bruises on your arms, right? We didn't twist your arm too hard.
Not too hard.
Not too hard. So, you've got a unique perspective, one, as a client, and then two, saying, hey, I like what I see here. And then you began helping people to overcome as our colon hydrotherapist.
Yes.
And you've seen a lot of stuff.
I sure have.
Yeah. So just tell me some of the things that, obviously today you're much better than you were, when did you start? 2018?
19.
19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's just talk about, let's give people kind of a broad picture of what's going on when they come in, what they can expect. Because obviously, I remember I was nervous for the first time colonic. Mm-hmm. Had no clue what I was getting into. No videos to watch. I'm like, well, you guys got videos you can watch. You can go to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on treatments, watch the webinar or watch the video on how to do a colonic. Really simple. So tell me, you've dealt with those people up, very personal there in the room getting it set up. So what can a person expect when they first come in?
Well, they're going to expect to be treated kindly and warmly. I think that's important.
Very, very important.
Yes. And we know that you're nervous, and that's okay.
Right.
And we'll help you get over your nervousness. Setting up the room and talking about what to expect in the room, I think is helpful beforehand. Giving them a sense of control over their bodies.
Right.
Oftentimes we go to the doctor's office and they're all controlling of you. You're going to have this shot, or you're going to do this, you're going to go here. And in this scenario, this is something that's very proactive that you're doing for yourself.
Right.
You chose to be here and you want to be here, and you're the one in control of it.
Right.
And I think that's helpful to know. And then you're going to find that it is not anything like you have in your head. It's not scary, and it's not what you think. It's going to be something that's going to make you feel good. And so through that first colonic time, you're going to be checked on frequently. We're going to take good care of you. Make sure you have drinks and you're warm, or the room temperature is good for you. And it's going to be something that is a pleasant time out. People come and literally it's the only time they have out from any interruptions. And they love it just for that.
Right. Yeah, I would say one of the things we set up, the first time you come in, we do give you a couple of free gifts. We put you on a far infrared biomat, and you can learn more about that under treatments section of livingwaterscleanse.com. And that's one of my favorite tools.
I love that thing. I can come in and sneak a biomat. That's my best part of my day. It's another quiet timeout. Yeah. And people that are anxious and busy work lives, they actually fall asleep.
Right. Yeah, the beauty of the mat, the far infrared mat, is that there's amethyst stone in it, which has its own healing properties. And again, there's videos over on the website about it, but there's also that far infrared is going through there, and it puts you into your delta brainwave state, which is what your sleep state is. And so many times people come in, they're all rushed, and they got their cell phones, and they think they want to keep holding on to it. Put that phone away here. You're going to fall asleep here. Probably. Not everyone does. But usually, and you do get very relaxed.
Super relaxed. And it just feels good for a long time after you get off the mat.
And I know, I always feel like when I'm tired here, as you know, I always say, hey, I'm going to the biomat for 15, 20 minutes. And I do that if I'm really tired, and if I've really got, my days, I've done 15 different things, I'm a little fractured. Then I'll go do a biomat, and I get up and like, okay, now I'm on point again.
There you go.
It's like a reset, isn't it?
Absolutely wakes the brain up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it gets that blood moving. So those of you, especially this time of year, you're experiencing cold hands, cold feet. That's a circulation issue. And that means you've got constipation, and we've got to get things moving. And the beauty of the biomat in conjunction with the colonics is it gets that blood moving. It gets those red blood cells moving. It turns on your immune protective system, your heat shock proteins, which turns on your NK and T cells, your cancer fighters, and your immune boosters. So you definitely want those on versus you don't want to have them suppressed, which is what happens when you're cold. Mm-hmm. And so it's very important to, you think about what a fever is, right? A fever is important. Us Americans get all concerned about it.
We need to have a fever to fight the infection.
That's why we have them. Heat shock protein fires up and says, hey, let's go to work. And he calls in the armies. And the armies are your NK and T cells and lymphocytes. Anyway, that goes to work, and yeah, it can really help with the colds and the flus. And so if you're one of those people who get cold, you're more apt to get sick. And so we want to get that immune system up. And that's one of the tools that can help do that. Mm-hmm. And it makes you feel great. The next tool we put people on, we'll talk about that, is the
lymph detox T-zone.
You bet. What was your first experience on the machine like?
Well, I've never seen it before. And I stood on it and I thought, wow, this kind of feels good. But it felt kind of tingly. And at the time, this is before the 10-day, my skin was itchy. Yeah. And I learned later what that was.
What's that? What is that? What does itchy skin mean when you're on the shaking on that machine?
It means you got your liver's all working too hard. You got a liver problem.
Yeah, you got a very toxic body. And so when the liver runs out of room, it's your filter for the body. It's the blood filter. And it's got about 500 plus jobs it's trying to do. And when it says, hey, I don't got any more room to store the pesticides you've been breathing in, or the glyphosate you got via drinking that non-organic milk or bread or whatever, it says, okay, I got to store this someplace. So it likes fat as a storage place. And what's fat? Subcutaneous tissue right under the skin. So those of you with hives or psoriasis or itchy skin or breakouts, it's as simple as we got to clean out the body and clean up the blood by cleaning out the liver. It's that simple.
And we do that on the 10-day.
And we do that on the 10-day healing retreat.
Yeah.
And we've seen some pretty amazing things, haven't we?
We have. With the skin, people, they look different.
Yeah.
In the middle of the 10-day.
Right.
They start changing.
We just started our 10-day retreat today on Monday the 5th. And already we had some people come in early last week and just did some basic colonics to get used to it.
Okay.
And we like that because when you at least know what you're doing, you come in first day, you can just get deeper into your cleanse faster. And already, we're always seeing gray faces turn pink. And
that is awesome.
Right.
That's the exciting part, because you know there's health starting in there.
Yeah. And we just had a guy I just talked to in the hallway before he came in here.
Yes.
That was amazing. So he came here with there's a long list of foods he can't eat, and has this histamine reaction to a lot of these foods. And all of a sudden he's saying, David, I've flipped. I can eat these foods now.
As it should be.
And he's barely started the 10-day cleanse.
Oh, wow. He's going to have a fun time at
his face has changed too. Now he's got pink. He looked looked bad last week.
Well, that's what we want, glowing faces.
That's normal for us. We see, so if you're looking bad, if you look in the mirror and you've got gray, you have no pink in your face, that's an issue. And even if you don't think you have symptoms, you want to live your best life. Come on, whatever age you are, you don't want to have the brain fog. You don't want to have your joints hurting. You don't want to, last week I did 8 basketball games, 4 days in a row. I was out there in the courts, 4 hours, 5 hours a day. Then I went skiing on Saturday. We did 10 runs and powder, and first powder day of the year, of course, new muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Working. But I'm just thinking God, all those poor people out there that can't do this because of, they're hurting.
Well, if you go to a doctor, they say it's aging.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is from aging. I'm like, no, it's not from aging. My body hurts because it's toxic.
Right.
So that was the big thing in the 10-day for me.
Yeah.
Do the 10-day and my pains went away. My body aches. It's not an age thing.
Right. No, at 30, I was walking around like an old man at age 30. And today, I'm a senior citizen, guys. Officially. Yeah. But I'm doing more today as a senior citizen. I'm able to tap into all those benefits. But look, I'm working, I'm doing stuff, I'm playing basketball, I'm refereeing basketball, I'm skiing, I'm riding dirt bikes. I have no problems. My knees are fine, my joints are fine. Yes, I get sore. I was pretty sore this last week.
Well, you're exercising again.
But I ran my butt off in a couple of those games. It's probably 5 or 6 miles. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Hey, stay tuned. We're going to be back. You've been listening to the Whole Body Detox Show with my special guest, Shelly Fias. If you want to learn how you can turn your health around, or even just to prevent something bad happening, give us a call. Living Waters Cleanse, livingwaterscleanse.com, 208-378-9911. I'm David DeHaas, Living Waters, where miracles begin by healing from within. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you. Welcome back. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. We're talking today about the 10-day healing retreat with special guest Shelly, who did her 10-day retreat and then came to work for us and worked for us for over a couple of years now. And so I brought her in today to share her story, because I've never really heard your whole story, which has been great.
Hey.
But hey, if you want to rewind any of these podcasts, if you're just catching the show today, you're just tuning in, go to wholebodydetoxshow.com or Whole Body Detox Show. Search that on your podcast app. We've got 105 episodes up, and there's a lot of great ones over there. Lots of different subjects, but we're all talking about always how to detox, cleanse, and heal your body so you can live well and not be grumpy and not feeling good and missing out on life. I mean, I got so many friends I got a lot of my high school mates. I probably got 20 of them that didn't make it to my age.
Oh.
And then there's others that just can't do anything. And it was sad because they've retired.
Well,
And now what are you going to do?
Yeah, you just sit around in a lazy chair.
And if you don't have your body, and you don't have the function of your legs and feet and be ambulatory and your brain.
Yeah.
So many people with brain fog.
It's a lot of brain fog.
That's probably number one condition that we see here, isn't it? Brain fog, constipation. Well, of course, it's caused by constipation, but
yeah. I see a lot of elderly people come in that are hurting.
Yeah.
And but they are really doing a good thing for themselves because they're also suffering from constipation.
Right.
And this really helps aid that. It wakes up the colon, makes it toned up again, and you start to feel it.
Isn't it the coolest thing ever, though, to see people get off these medications they've been on forever?
Yes. Like high blood pressure ones, cholesterol ones, all those.
Yeah, and just all the pain medications, some of the opioids that people have been on, and they're like convinced they got to be on the rest of their life. Or
even diabetics.
Yeah, diabetics. Yeah, we've seen type 2 diabetics completely kick that. Mm-hmm. And how about the people we've seen with liver toxicity that told their liver function was 20% or whatever, and do the 10-day cleanse, and now their vertigo's gone, their allergies is gone, they can squeeze their hands together, and oh, by the way, 6 months later, their liver is functioning perfectly.
Right. I love that.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Were you here when the guy came in who couldn't stand up?
Yes, and then he went out boxing. Boxing the air.
That guy, the one guy I'm thinking of, I don't know if we're thinking of the same guy, but, he'd had, I don't know how many stents put in his arteries, had bile duct problems. He had a non-alcoholic fatty liver. And the thing was that, well, David, he's never drank. Look at this fatty liver thing is not about drinking. It's about just the toxins you've absorbed. And look at, if you're eating non-organic food, non-organic vegetables that's been sprayed with pesticides, you're sucking in. It's like you're drinking from the bottle. And your body does its best thing that it can do. And next thing you know, maybe you've got rheumatoid arthritis or just regular arthritis. Your brain's not clicking. That's usually most of the people who come through a 10-day cleanse. They just can't think.
No.
But then we start cleaning them out, and all of a sudden they start getting that back.
Their life opens up for them again.
Oh, tremendously. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen people that, they really couldn't work. I remember I told one employer, I says, look, I know she's missed 2 months of work this year, but she's going to miss 10 more days, but you're going to have a different employee. And I know you're only paying her $10 an hour, but no, that's not really your effective yield. You're really paying probably about $50 an hour because she can probably only work 20% of the time. And all the things that she's missing on doing her job. So
did you find employers were, hopeful and thinking for this 10-day cleanse for their employee?
Years ago we had a guy that employed, and he says, you know what, I need to send my people here. I said, yeah, you'll produce your productivity. Your revenues will go up.
Well, of course they will, because they have employees that feel good and they can think.
And if you're an employer and if you've got coffee pots on, and you've got people drinking sodas and drinking maple and eating maple bars, and someone's bringing in Krispy Kremes, that is decreasing your employees' productivity, because that's just mucus building foods. And they're not, they have a sugar hit, they're high for a moment, then they crash. What's happening at 2:00 in the afternoon? They're dragging.
They're dragging till they get off work.
How many orders are they missing? How many deals are they missing? How many mistakes are they making? We've seen people come in here with such severe brain fog that, we're like shocked that they even have a job. But when they get going again, it's like, we've seen people get promoted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's life-changing.
That's life-changing. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do it is come in and do a cleanse. Look, you can come in and just try it out like you did.
Yep.
You did what, a 3-day to begin with?
I came in to do one.
Right.
But then I ended up buying a 3-day because,
okay.
Yeah, I just thought, okay, we'll do 3. And
right.
then before I knew it, I was in the 10-day.
Next thing you know, we talked you into it, huh?
Yep.
Do we twist your arms?
No, I wanted to get well. But the most important part of getting well was also having the knowledge to continue to keep that well going.
Right.
That's been really helpful.
I think, and maybe you tell me what your thoughts are, but for the small amount of money you put out, the amount of return you get so quickly. Like in your case, you're decades and decades and decades of being sick.
Yep.
And then you turn it around in 10 days.
That was actually phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was shocked. There's this like the last cleanse that I did, and it was like this really thin. I want to say it was the lining of my colon came out all in one piece,
right.
The whole thing, and it was like it's as if my pain just went down the tube. I watched it go, and it never came back.
Right.
And my pain was gone. It was,
right.
And I've been eating foods I shouldn't eat, and I still don't have that pain, all that horribleness back. I'm still healthy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just getting your gut clean, folks. Look, you got more neurons in your gut than you do your spinal column. So what are neurons? Neurons are like little cell phones. And they're communication devices. And if they're covered with poop, they can't communicate with those nerves that fire and wire your organs. So whether it's your ears, your eyes, your nose, your tongue, your neck, your brain, heart, liver, spleen, kidneys, all the different organs connect to the gut.
That was the most shocking part of my education in doing this. And that is, I suffered like frozen shoulder, severe frozen shoulder pain. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. And I had lingering pain in the shoulder before the 10-day still. Right. And that was 10 years after my frozen shoulder. Still
wow.
Didn't have range of motion or anything. And as the 10 days went on, my pain was subsiding. By the time it was a week after the 10-day was done, this pain in my arm was gone. I could stretch it out on the floor, and I had no pain.
Wow.
Nobody's going to tell me that your shoulder's not linked to your colon. So I kept telling people, if you have a hip problem or a knee problem or your low back's hurting, you might want to think about a colonic.
Yeah. Yeah, do it because, low back pain is a very common problem. Sciatica is a big common problem. We talked about this. I wrote an article in the Hedra. It's on our website called Pooping in the Pelvis. And, really, when you're pooping, when you got stuff just sitting in there, and the average person on our 10-day retreat loses about 15 pounds. And that's just poop. It's not fat, guys. Not muscle. It's poop. It's junk. It's parasites. It's everything else. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about parasites when we come back.
Yeah.
We got to talk about those critters. Anyway, so once you get that out, now the body, the nutrition you get can get absorbed and get out to the cells. Your cells is where the furnace that runs your body is. You got the mitochondria in every cell. And you got to get that thing nourished. So we're going to be back in a moment. And when we come back, we're going to talk about our favorite subject down here, parasites.
Parasites it is.
And you want to learn about what you can do to get your life back and feel good, think correctly, be able to, if you've got any joints that are hurting, like what you just heard Shelly tell you, then go watch 4 Natural Laws of Healing at livingwaterscleanse.com. check that out, watch it. And if you want to know what a colonic is, again, go to livingwaterscleanse.com and click on treatments, then colonics. And if you want to see all the treatments we do, there's a list. You just go right down through them and read the information. So do that so that you understand what we're about here, and then just schedule a consultation. You don't have to commit and say, I'm already jump in. Just come in and see if it's the right thing for you to do. We're here in the office today with Shelly Fias, who experienced her own amazing miracles, healing, on the 10-day healing retreat, something they've been suffering from for decades and decades and decades. And she turned that around, and it was so fantastic. She decided to work for us, which was really great. We're very appreciative of that. But Shelly, we haven't talked about parasites.
I know. That's the biggest one ever.
Yeah. And people always say, oh, we live in America. We don't have parasites.
That's a third world problem.
Yeah. But Shelly, do people have parasites come in?
Every single one of them.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that because parasites are beings. They have their own energy. And there's a certain time in the month when they are laying eggs and they're making you crazy, doing things you probably wouldn't think of doing. And that is the
full moon.
Full moon. Yep, the cycle of things. And you ask the hospitals, the police departments, fire departments, when are they the busiest? Full moon. And so, Shelly, we have seen some pretty amazing things. And these guys will really hold you back in a lot of ways. They change your thinking. You're going to hurt. We had a guy come in, oh my gosh, this was just 3 months ago. And his stomach would literally jump. And it felt like someone was like, he says, David, it feels like someone's just like biting me. I said, that's parasites, baby. And that, I mean, and you can see the stomach jump. I've never seen it before.
I've never seen that one.
And a lot of candida yeast as well. And he was as gray as the fog.
He had to feel horrible.
Oh, really horrible. But anyway, he felt a lot different. In fact, he got so sick. He got worse before he got better in terms of he was detoxifying, and the first 3 days were pretty hard for him.
Yes.
But about day 4 and 5, all of a sudden he made the turnaround and getting those parasites out. So what have you seen as a colon hydrotherapist? You get to see more than I ever see. Because you're there with the clients.
Yes, I've
close
seen
and
lots
personal.
of things come out. I mean, things that they don't notice or see. But,
Right.
eggs, nests,
Yeah.
different types of parasites. We have all kinds of them coming out. Some of them are very colorful.
Yeah. Yeah. They dress up for you.
They do. Pretty colors.
You'll see liver flukes, tapeworms. Oh my gosh,
Roundworms.
rope worms. We had a gal, you remember her, Susan.
Yes.
Used to work here. Susan had been spending, I think we figured about $70,000 over a period of 4 years, taking some really good products
Okay.
as far as products go for parasites. But she says, David, I'm tired of taking 150 pills a day.
Ooh.
If I could just get these parasites out of me. I said, well, let's do the 10-day cleanse. So she actually didn't do 10, she did 15 days.
Wow.
2 liver cleanses back to back. Anyway, and she got buckets out on the last day. Took those pictures to her naturopath and she goes, what'd you do?
A 10-day cleanse.
Exactly. Yeah. And, so Shelly, when you watch clients and they pass a bunch of nests, like you just mentioned before at the break about that, what do you see in them immediately when those nests move out?
And the person?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they're so foggy-headed.
Right.
That's kind of a real tips that you have parasites. If you're really foggy-brained, they're so foggy-brained that they're not aware that there's parasites coming out of them.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, and the ones that aren't as foggy-brained, they start asking, "What is this? What's this?"
Yeah.
That
What's
looks-
swimming around down there?
They're swimming, or some of them swim back upstream.
I know it. You got a parasite. So guys, when you come on, if you watch the video on under treatments of colonics, there's a viewing tube and you can see what comes out of you. And if it's fecal matter, it's just going to go down the drain. But if it's parasites, even though they may be covered with a little bit of fecal matter, they'll be stirring around down there and swimming upstream. Really, they are. It's incredible. But because they don't want to leave the happy home where you've been feeding them for years and years and years. It took a while for them to get as big as they did. I don't know what the growth rate is on tapeworms or hookworms or rope worms, whatever, but it's astounding and they're causing you pain. So those of you with arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, heavy metals, parasites, always the cause. You get those out of your body. Your joints are going to be so different. I mean, you'll be able to restore.
Absolutely.
And then you take the perfect nutrition. You take the good vitamin supplements, eat good quality food.
Then you're going to get healthy.
You're going to get healthy.
One of the things I noticed with parasites is that they also dictate our addictions. I mean,
Right.
you know, Burger King burgers, cigarettes, alcohols, anything that you seem to crave.
Right.
When I did the 10-day cleanse, everything was gone. There were no cravings for anything. I mean, I didn't even crave anything to eat as far as, you know, just snacking food or anything
Right.
like that. I just ate when I, you know, had a meal. So if you're craving lots of things that
Right.
are not healthy, sugar, carbohydrates, those type of things, that's a parasite saying they want some of that food to eat.
Yeah. You know, your autonomic nervous system is running your 99% of your day, and you know, it's telling your heart when to beat and your lungs when to breathe and so forth. But when you've been emotionally addicted to chemicals, whether it's from Coca-Cola or Big Macs or chocolate, you're going to, when you get those chemicals out, you change it. Your autonomic nervous system is like, okay, that's gone. And even though it may encourage you to go and eat those foods, I've seen people cigarette smoking, try to quit for 40 years, come in 3 or 4 days later, all of a sudden, like, David, I haven't had a craving for a couple of days.
Yeah, there's the craving goes away.
Craving
That's
goes
what
away.
I've been told.
Yeah. Yeah. So same thing, you know, I used to eat all the maple bars and drink Coca-Colas and Snickers bars and Reese's peanut butter cups and all that junk food years ago. I can't even, I see that today and it makes me ill just looking at it.
Because you know how icky it feels to digest it.
Oh, well, and my body's going like, no, stay away from that, David. And of course I do.
That's a good thing.
But it is, you know, but it's amazing to me. I mean, we've had heroin addicts here and they were addicted to cigarettes and sugars and didn't want to see any vegetables in their palate.
Right.
But by day 4 or 5, yeah, I'll try that food now. And next thing you know, well, this is pretty good.
It starts to taste good to them.
Well, I had a gal one time, she says, I hated the food on day 1, but today's food's pretty good. I said, what is it? It's the same soup we had on Monday.
That's because you start to change from the very cellular structure. From
Yeah.
taste to hearing to your sight. My eyesight improved. My glasses, when I went to get them renewed, they dropped the prescription down. And you know, they questioned me. They said I cheated.
Get out of here.
Yeah, they said I cheated.
You never told me that story before. That's incredible.
I sent you my results, the picture of them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I just forgot.
Side by side. It had actually, they couldn't, they said, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing colon hydrotherapy.
You know, on the front page of our website, there's a gal who had Lyme disease, and she cleared all that, and she hadn't been able to work, and you know, she was disabled for 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and her eyesight improved by double.
Shoot, that's even more powerful.
I know, it's amazing. You get the body clean, give it the right nutrition, you're going to heal.
Yep, absolutely.
The 10-day healing retreat is the investment that's so well worth it. The return on your investment is infinitesimal. It's just amazing. You know, years later, I've had people tell me, oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever done for me. And guys, if you're listening to this show and you're still a little skeptical, or go to watch 4 Natural Laws of Healing over on the website. We got 14 pages. I haven't put anybody's new testimony up in like, I don't know, 5 years. I'm way behind. But we got like, I don't know, 300 videos up there of people just like you. They were hurting, couldn't close their hands, couldn't bend over and work in their garden, couldn't go skiing, couldn't walk. I mean, just weren't enjoying life. A lot of brain fog we've talked about before. But they come through a 10-day healing retreat and they get their life back.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I told my husband was, you know, you're going to pay for your health one way or another. You're going to pay for it when it's sick, or you're going to pay for it when it's healthy and keep it healthy. And paying for it when it's healthy to keep it healthy it's least costly.
It is. So save your money. Come to a 10-day healing retreat. Hey, if you missed any part of the show, go catch the podcast, wholebodydetoxshow.com. I'm going to be back again next week, like it or not. Hope you like it. And we got 105 episodes up. Check those out. David DeHaas. Call us at 208-378-9911. Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.